Oh, so you're here seeking answers, huh? Answers to why they left, why they hurt you, why the world feels like it's against you? Funny, isn't it? They create their own chaos and then blame the storm. And here you are, carrying their burdens like a mule that never tires. Let me tell you something. Their actions, those petty, selfish, thoughtless actions, have become your chains. But chains don't just appear out of nowhere, do they? Someone forges them, link by link. And sometimes, you're the one handing them the steel, letting them bind you tighter with every betrayal, every lie, every little act of indifference. You think they didn't know what they were doing? Oh, they knew. But here's the kicker. They didn't care. People like that? They see kindness as weakness. You, with your open hands and trusting eyes, were an easy target. They took what they could, and when there was nothing left, they blamed you for being empty. And now you sit here, broken, wondering what you did wrong. Let me make it clear. You didn't do anything wrong. They just chose wrong. But let's not make this about them, all right? Let's talk about you. Why did you let them? Why did you stand by as they chipped away at your soul? Let me guess. You thought they'd change. You believed deep down that they were good, that they just needed more time, more love. But here's the truth. Goodness isn't something you pour into people like water into a cracked cup. If the cup is broken, it's broken. And you wasted yourself trying to fix it. Ever notice how they always come back when they need something? When their world falls apart, suddenly they remember your name. But when your world crumbled, where were they? Crickets. Silence. People like that don't show up for you. They show up for themselves. They don't miss you. They miss what you gave them. Comfort, security, validation. You were their safety net. And now that the net is gone, they're angry. But why are you angry? Why are you still waiting for them to change, to apologize, to make things right? Let me tell you something. They won't. Because acknowledging their mistakes would mean admitting they were wrong. And people like that? They'd rather burn the world than face the truth. Here you are, holding on to hope like it's a lifeline. But hope? Hope can be dangerous. It's a drug. It keeps you in places you don't belong, waiting for people who don't deserve you. Hope makes you blind to reality. And the reality is this: the people who hurt you will keep hurting you until you decide you've had enough. Now, let's get to the hard part. The part where you stop blaming them and start looking at yourself. Yeah, you heard me right. Because every time you let them back in, every time you forgave without consequence, you added another link to the chain. You taught them how to treat you. You showed them that your boundaries were just lines in the sand, easily erased by their excuses. And don't give me that nonsense about being the bigger person. Being the bigger person doesn't mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean letting people walk all over you in the name of forgiveness. Forgiveness without accountability? That's just permission. And you gave them plenty of it. But here's the thing. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to carry their guilt, their mistakes, their pain. Those chains? You forged them, yes, but you can break them too. It won't be easy. Breaking free never is. It'll hurt. You'll feel like you're losing a part of yourself. But what you're really losing is the weight that was never yours to carry. Strength isn't about how much you can endure. It's about knowing when to let go. It's about standing up and saying, no more. Strength is walking away from the people who can't see your worth, even if it means walking alone. And let me tell you something. Walking alone? It's not as bad as they make it out to be. Because when you're alone, you're free. Free from their expectations, their judgments, They're poison. And in that freedom, you'll find yourself. The real you. Not the version of you they wanted, not the version they manipulated, but the you that doesn't need their approval to feel whole. The you that doesn't bend or break just to make someone else comfortable. Now, let's talk about them one last time. Because while you're breaking your chains, they're busy forging their own. Their actions have consequences, whether they want to admit it or not. They'll wake up one day and realize they're alone, not because the world was cruel to them, but because they were cruel to the world. They'll look around and see the wreckage of their own making, and they'll suffer, not because you wished it upon them, but because they brought it upon themselves. But that's not your problem anymore. Your only job is to rise. Take those broken pieces of yourself and build something stronger, something unbreakable. The best revenge? It's not anger or hate. It's living well. It's being so damn strong, so damn unshakable, that their absence feels like a gift. What are you going to do? Sit here, drowning in their mistakes? Or stand up and take back your life? The choice is yours. But remember this: the world doesn't owe you anything, and neither do they. But you owe it to yourself to be better, to be stronger, to be free. Their actions may have been the chains of your suffering, but your actions? They can be the keys to your liberation. So, what's it going to be? Chains or freedom? Let me ask you something. You ever look in the mirror and hate what you see? Not just the face staring back, but the person behind it, the choices they've made, the things they've allowed, the pain they've endured in silence? Yeah, I know you have. We all have. But here's the kicker. The reflection you see isn't some cruel twist of fate. It's you. It's your creation, your masterpiece. Every scar, every regret, every crack in that facade, that's your work. And if it's ugly, if it's broken, then guess what? You're the only one who can fix it. But fixing it means facing it. And facing it? That's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Because the truth, the real, unvarnished truth, it's not just ugly, it's brutal. It'll claw at you, tear you apart, force you to see every mistake, every failure, every time you let them win. And it'll hurt. It'll hurt more than anything they've ever done to you. Because their betrayal? That was out of your control. But your betrayal? The way you've betrayed yourself? That cuts deeper. You know why most people never change? It's not because they can't, it's because they won't. Change demands sacrifice. It demands that you give up the lies you tell yourself to feel better. It demands that you stop playing the victim, stop blaming the world, and start taking responsibility. And that's terrifying. Because taking responsibility means admitting that you've been complicit in your own suffering. Oh, don't look at me like that. You think I'm being harsh? Maybe I am. But the world out there? It's 100 times harsher, 1,000 times crueler. And if you don't toughen up, if you don't face the truth and fight back, it'll lead you alive. It doesn't care about your pain, your tears, your excuses. It'll grind you into the dirt and move on without a second thought. So, stop waiting for someone to save you. No one's coming. Not your friends, not your family, not some miracle. The only person who can save you is you. And if you don't start now, if you don't make the choice to rise above it all, you'll stay exactly where you are, chained, broken, and forgotten. You think they don't feel the weight of what they've done? Oh, they feel it. They might not show it, might not admit it, but deep down, they know. Every time they look at you, they see the pain they caused. And that's why they run, why they blame you, why they twist the story to make themselves the victim. Because facing the truth? That's a punishment they're not strong enough to endure. But you're still here. You're still standing. And that makes you stronger than they'll ever be. Because while they hide behind their lies, you're out here facing the cold, hard truth. While they chain themselves to their guilt, you have the power to break free. You have the power to take every bit of pain they gave you and turn it into strength. And let me tell you something. They're scared of that strength. Scared that one day you'll wake up and realize you don't need them. Scared that you'll stop chasing after them, stop forgiving them, stop letting them control you. Because the moment you do, the moment you take back your power, they lose. And they hate losing. But don't do it for them. Don't break free just to prove a point or get revenge. Do it for yourself. Do it because you deserve better. Do it because you have a fire inside you, a fire they tried to extinguish but couldn't. And that fire? That's your strength, your will, your soul. It's the part of you that refuses to give up, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. Feed that fire. Let it burn away the pain, the regret, the chains. Let it consume every lie they told you, every doubt they planted in your mind. Let it light your way as you walk out of this darkness and into the life you deserve. And when you get there, when you've rebuilt yourself from the ashes, don't look back. Don't waste another second on them, because they're not worth it. They never were. The only thing that matters is you, your strength, your growth, your freedom. Listen to me and listen well. Their actions are their chains. Their choices are their prison. And one day, they'll wake up and realize they're the architects of their own suffering. But you don't have to wait for that day. You don't have to carry their weight, their guilt, their mistakes. You can let it all go. You can set yourself free. But freedom? It's not given. It's taken. It's fought for. It's earned. And it starts with a choice. So make the choice. Break the chains. Rise above the pain. And when you do, when you finally stand tall and unshakable, you'll see the truth. They were never your chains to bear. They were theirs. And you? You were always meant to fly. You're still here, aren't you? Still clinging to the scraps they left behind, hoping for some kind of miracle? A change of heart, maybe? Some grand gesture where they come back and admit they were wrong? Oh, you poor, naive soul. They're not coming back. And even if they did, it wouldn't be to heal the wounds they caused. It'd be to reopen them. But why? Why do you keep holding on? Is it because you're afraid of what life looks like without them? Or maybe, deep down, you think you deserve the pain? Pain. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? You've convinced yourself this is your punishment, that their cruelty was somehow your fault, that if you'd been better, smarter, stronger, maybe they wouldn't have left. Maybe they wouldn't have broken you. But let me tell you something. You were never the problem. They were. Their greed, their selfishness, their inability to see the treasure they had right in front of them. That's what caused all of this. You were just collateral damage in their war against their own demons. And now you're carrying the weight of their failures, their insecurities, their darkness. Why? Let's talk about closure. Everyone loves that word, don't they? They think it's some magical thing that'll make all the pain go away. But here's the truth. Closure doesn't come from them. It never has. You think hearing, "I'm sorry," is going to erase the nights you cried yourself to sleep? You think their excuses will fix the scar they left on your soul? Closure isn't about them. It's about you. It's about deciding you don't need their apology to move on. It's about realizing their absence is a gift, not a punishment. It's about looking at the shattered pieces of yourself and saying, I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm not going to let this break me. Because closure isn't a door they close for you. It's a door you slam shut on your own, locking it behind you and throwing away the key. It's not about getting answers. It's about accepting that some questions don't deserve answers. And you? You've been asking the wrong questions. Stop asking why they hurt you, why they left, why they didn't see your worth. Start asking why you've been letting their actions define you. You see, pain is a funny thing. Most people think it's a curse, something to avoid at all costs. But pain? Pain is a teacher. It's brutal, yes, but it's honest. It doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth. It forces you to look at the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore, the wounds you'd rather pretend don't exist. And if you let it, pain will teach you everything you need to know. It will teach you who you are, what you're capable of, what you're worth. But only if you stop running from it. Only if you stop numbing it with distractions and lies. Only if you face it head-on and say, all right, let's do this. Because pain, it's not your enemy. It's your forge. And right now, you're in the fire. But that's not a bad thing. The fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to refine you, to burn away the weakness, the self-doubt, the chains they placed on you, to turn you into something stronger, sharper, unbreakable. But let's be real. You're afraid of that fire, aren't you? Afraid of what it'll reveal. You'd rather stay in your little prison of comfort, even if it's killing you. Because the devil you know is safer than the devil you don't. Right? Wrong. Comfort is the real prison. It's the soft, suffocating pillow that lulls you into a false sense of security while it steals your life away. And the bars? They're made of fear. Fear of change. Fear of the unknown. Fear of failure. But here's the thing about fear. It's a liar. It tells you you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not brave enough. And you believe it. But fear isn't real. It's a shadow, a ghost. It can't hurt you unless you let it. And if you want to be free, if you want to break the chains and escape this prison, you've got to face that fear. You've got to look it in the eye and say, you don't control me. Because the moment you do, the bars disappear, the prison crumbles, and you walk out a free person. So here we are, the moment of truth. You've got two choices. You can stay here, in the darkness, clinging to the chains they wrapped around you, letting their actions define your life. Or you can rise. You can take that first painful step into the fire, into the unknown, into freedom. It won't be easy. It'll hurt. You'll stumble. You'll fall. You'll want to turn back. But every step you take will bring you closer to the person you were meant to be, closer to the life you deserve. And one day, you'll look back and realize those chains they put on you, they weren't chains at all. They were illusions, shadows, nothing more. So, what's it going to be? Chains or freedom? Pain or growth? Fear or strength? The choice is yours, and only yours. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting someone back into your life. It means saying, I forgive you, but I don't need you anymore. Because forgiveness without boundaries is not strength. It's surrender. And you're not here to surrender. Now, let's talk about anger. They'll tell you it's bad, that it's toxic, that you need to let it go. But here's the truth. Anger is power. It's fire. It's the force that burns away the lies, the excuses, the chains. The key isn't to suppress it. It's to harness it, to use it as a weapon, a shield, a tool to carve out the life you deserve. But here's the catch. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it turn you into something you're not. Anger without control is like a wildfire. It destroys everything, even the things you love. Control it. Focus it. Let it drive you, but don't let it define you. Let it fuel your rise, not your ruin. Because in the end, anger isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It's the voice inside you that says, I deserve better, and I won't stop until I get it. Ever wonder why you're drawn to the darkness? Why pain feels more real than joy? Why the shadows seem safer than the light? It's because the darkness doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat things. It shows you the world as it is, raw, brutal, unfiltered. And that's where you find your strength. The light is fragile. It flickers. It fades. It dies. But the darkness? It's eternal. It's unyielding. And if you can survive it, if you can find your way through it, you'll come out stronger than you ever imagined. So don't fear the darkness. Embrace it. Let it shape you, mold you, transform you. Let it teach you the lessons the light never could. Because in the darkness, you'll find the truth. And in that truth, you'll find yourself. Here's the thing. They're not coming back. And if they do, it won't be for the right reasons. It won't be because they've changed or realized your worth. It'll be because they need something from you. Your kindness, your forgiveness, your strength. And if you let them back in, they'll take and take until there's nothing left. Don't wait for them. Don't wait for closure, justice, or redemption. Create your own closure. Take your own justice. Forge your own redemption. Because those chains they placed on you, they're not yours to carry anymore. And when you finally stand tall, unchained, unbroken, they'll look at you with awe and fear. They'll realize they didn't break you. They didn't destroy you. They only made you stronger. And that's the best revenge of all. Let's get one thing straight. Expectations are a trap. Yours, theirs, society's. It's all the same. A chain disguised as hope. A leash you willingly put around your own neck. How many times did you let their expectations dictate your choices? How many times did you shrink yourself, twist yourself, break yourself, just to fit into the little box they built for you? And what did it get you? Approval? Respect? Love? Number. It got you nothing but exhaustion and disappointment. Because no matter how much you give, it's never enough for people who take. And you? You'll keep chasing their approval like a dog chasing its tail, round and round, until you collapse from the effort. But here's the thing. Their expectations are not your responsibility. You don't owe them compliance, obedience, or sacrifice. You owe them nothing. And the moment you realize that, the moment you stop living for them and start living for yourself, that's when you take back your power. You think you can control everything, right? That if you just try harder, plan better, or be smarter, you can fix everything. But control is an illusion. You can't control other people, their choices, their feelings, their actions. Trying to control them is just another chain. The only thing you can control is yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, your decisions. That's where your power lies. If you waste that power trying to change what's beyond your reach, you'll end up powerless, helpless, trapped. So let go. Let go of the things you can't control. The people who refuse to change. The situations that refuse to improve. The battles you were never meant to fight. Focus on what you can control. Your mindset, your actions, your path. That's the key to breaking free. Let's talk about loneliness. I know it scares you. The thought of being alone, walking this path with no one by your side. It terrifies you. But here's the truth. Solitude isn't weakness. It's strength. Because when you're alone, there's no one to distract you from the truth. No one to lie to you, manipulate you, or drain you. It's just you and the silence. And in that silence, you'll find clarity. You'll find out who you really are, what you really want, what you're really capable of. You'll uncover the strength that's been buried under years of noise, chaos, and toxic connections. Once you realize you don't need anyone else to validate you, to complete you, to save you, that's when you become unstoppable. So don't fear loneliness. Embrace it. Let it teach you, guide you, empower you. Because the person who can stand alone, that's the person who can conquer anything. You've been waiting for someone to see your worth, haven't you? Waiting for someone to look at you and say, "You're enough, you matter, you're worthy." But why? Why are you putting your self-worth in someone else's hands? Why are you giving them the power to decide your value? Your worth isn't something they can give or take away. It's not something they can measure or define. It's yours. It's intrinsic. It's unshakable. The moment you stop looking for it in their eyes, in their words, in their approval, that's the moment you finally claim it for yourself. So stop waiting. Stop begging for scraps of validation. Stand up. Look in the mirror and say, "I am enough." Say it until you believe it. Say it until it drowns out every lie they ever told you, every doubt they ever planted in your mind. Say it until it becomes your truth. You're holding on to so much, aren't you? The pain, the anger, the memories. They're weighing you down, chaining you to a past that no longer serves you. But why? Why are you clinging to the things that hurt you? Why are you letting them define you? Letting go isn't weakness. It's not giving up. It's not forgetting. It's freedom. It's saying, "I refuse to let this control me anymore." It's cutting the chains, burning the bridges, and walking away with your head held high. Yes, it will hurt. Letting go always does. It will feel like you're losing a part of yourself, like you're stepping into a void. But that void? That's where you'll find yourself. That's where you'll find peace. That's where you'll find freedom. It won't be easy. It won't be painless. But it will be worth it. Because the life you want, the person you want to be, is waiting for you on the other side of those chains. And the only thing standing in your way is you.